Hey, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I'm Jabin Postal, and today at the grill, we're going to be smoking up a pork tenderloin to make the most delicious tropical pork tenderloin sandwiches on the grill. Other than that, let's get into the cook. As I said, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I appreciate you being here. Today at the grill, we're going to be making up the most delicious tropical pork tenderloin sandwich. If you've never had pork tenderloin or you haven't had it in a while, this is one of those cuts that is ideal when it comes to this sort of that everyday cook because it's lean, it's inexpensive, and best of all, it doesn't take a lot of time to cook, whether it's on the grill, in the oven, or however you're going to be cooking it. And so this cook today, like I said, is great for that weekday cook. Also, if it's a little bit cold outside, gives you a real taste of summer, which is really great, especially during the winter months when it's a little bit cold and you just want to feel like you're at the beach. And so, like I said, we have some pork tenderloin here, and these are about a pound and a half each. They are fairly lean, and there's not really much that we need to do. There is a little bit of silver skin on here, but end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you remove it or leave it on. For videos and things like that, I often take it off, but just everyday cooking around the house, I often just leave that on. But to take it off, it's simple. All you do is just take your knife and just get underneath that silver skin, just like that. There we go. And then I'm just going to clean up any of the loose bits on here. And so with the pork tenderloin all trimmed up, you're going to see that, the silver skin's off. There's a little bit of fat on there still, but that's okay because it is a lean cut. If there's any of that extra fat on the outside, it's not going to matter. It's just going to add a little bit of extra flavor. So today, to season up the pork tenderloin, I'm going to be using my Postal Barbecue chicken rub. And, obviously this isn't chicken, but the flavors of the chicken rub really enhance the garlicky flavor. And for this cut today, I want to really pair some of that garlic and the sweetness with the pineapple and the sauce I'm going to make. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to liberally coat the outside of the pork tenderloin. There we go. I'm just going to roll it on that cutting board. All right, and so just like that, the pork tenderloin is all prepared. And so let me show you how I'm going to set up the slow and sear kettle today for cooking around 225 degrees. So to set up the grill today for cooking, I placed in about 20 briquettes into the corner of the slow and sear, and I got them fully lit using my Grill Blazer sous vide gun. Once those coals were fully lit, I then added in about a half of a chimney basket of unlit briquettes into the slow and sear, and then I closed up the lid and let the temperature come to around 225 degrees. All right, it's been about 20 minutes since I seasoned the pork tenderloin. The grill is set up around 225 degrees. And so the only thing left to do is to insert a digital thermometer. And this is really important when it comes to pork tenderloin specifically because it is lean. It's one of those cuts that you don't want to overcook. And so today I'm going to be cooking this to around 140 to 142 so that it can carry over to that 145 degree temperature. And so with my meter probe, I'm going to place that into the center of this pork tenderloin. Grab the second one, and this is from the new brown sugar meter block, and I love this thing. The color is phenomenal. There we go. And so as I said, I am using the meter block today. This is a great wireless thermometer. If you haven't yet picked one up, make sure to check it out in the description box below. So with everything all ready to go, let's get these pork tenderloins onto the grill opposite the coals. And then today I'm going to be adding in a little bit of apple wood, just add a bit of smoky flavor to the meat. There we go, place that on. I'm going to close up this lid. As I said, I'm going to be cooking these around 225 degrees to a finishing temperature between 140 and 142. This is going to be a safe eating temperature as well as it's going to come out incredibly juicy. So I'll bring you back when it gets closer to finishing. All right, so these pork tenderloins have been cooking for about 35 minutes now, and I want to go ahead and make a barbecue sauce. This is kind of pineapple inspired for sure. All I have is 3 ingredients. I have my favorite barbecue sauce. This is just ones I pick up from the grocery store. I have about a half a cup of pineapple juice. This comes from the container that the pineapple slices were in, and so again, really simple. Then I have about a tablespoon of soy sauce. And so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place the pineapple juice in there. It's gonna thin it down. The soy is gonna add a little bit of umami flavor. There we go. Then I'm just gonna grab this lid and I'm gonna shake it together. There we go. And like I said, that is all I'm gonna be doing. So I'm just gonna give it a quick taste before we put it onto the pork tenderloin. Oh, that's good stuff. You know, you get that barbecue flavor and then this bit of sweetness and fruitiness from the pineapple, and then that soy just brings it all together. And so let's go ahead and put this on to the pork tenderloin. There we go, get that lid closed. And so this is only gonna take about another 5 more minutes for that sauce to set up, as well as the tenderloin to come up to our finishing temperature. And then when it does, I'm gonna get that pineapple onto the grill. All right, it's been about 7 minutes since I put the sauce on. And so let's just take a look at this. You can see that sauce is set up quite nicely. And so I'm just gonna leave it on the grill to rest because it is a little bit chilly out here. And so it's not gonna go into as much of a shock as it rests if I was to bring it out on the cutting board. And so that said, I'm gonna grab some pineapple. I'm gonna place that directly over those hot coals just to give it a little bit of char and add some extra flavor and sweetness to the pineapple. There we go. Those are starting to look really nice. I'm also gonna toast my buns. Place that over there. Let's get those off to the side. And there we go. Those look pretty good to me. We're gonna get these off the grill now. All right, guys, before I slice into this, I want to show you the color from the rub as well as that barbecue sauce that we made. And again, this is a really simple recipe from the sauce to the whole cook and building of the sandwich or the burger, whatever you want to call it. And so it just looks phenomenal. You can see there's a lot of juices already still just pooling at the top. And so let's slice into this. I'm gonna slice a little bit of an angle. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely juicy. Just take a look at that. Okay, I need to go for a taste test and just see how the pork tenderloin is. Oh man, that's unreal. It's juicy, it's tender. You get all the flavors from the sauce and that rub. This is phenomenal just as it is. Okay, so to make our sandwich, I'm gonna be starting with a pretzel bun. And when I saw the pretzel bun, I knew this was gonna go really well with this. And so I'm gonna grab a spoon and just ladle on a little bit of this barbecue sauce on the bottom. And then to that, I'm gonna just layer up some of the tenderloin. And then to that, I'm going to add on our pineapple. And then I always like a little bit of crunch when it comes to sandwiches like this. And so I'm going to place a little bit of just dried coleslaw mix on top. There we go. And then lastly, I'm going to drizzle some more of this barbecue sauce all over. And don't be afraid to make a little bit of a mess with it. And then I'm going to crown it with that bun. And just take a look at that. I can't wait to go for the taste test. let's just go right in and see how it is. There it is. It's all just dripping all over the place. This is incredible. Guys, this sandwich is so good. The sauce is almost like a bit of a teriyaki style sauce. The pineapple really just pops this sandwich as well. But the star of the show by far is that pork tenderloin. It's juicy, it's tender, and it really just works, especially when you pair it with a pretzel bun like this. Oh my goodness, it's phenomenal. So if you want to try this, make sure to do so. Tag me in a post. I'd love to see how yours turns out. I need to go for another bite and just keep eating. These tropical pork loin sandwiches are juicy, tender, absolutely delicious. You're gonna love them for sure. Until next time, keep that fire lit and get cooking. Hey guys, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I'm Jabin Postal, and today at the grill, we're making the most amazing pierogi burger on the Sloan Sear Kettle Grill, and this is one of those recipes that's absolutely delicious, and you're gonna love it for sure. Now, other than that, let's get into the cook. As I said, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I appreciate you being here. Today at the grill, I'm gonna be cooking up a delicious pierogi burger. And this is one of those concoctions that, I've been thinking about for quite a while now, going back to my Polish heritage. As a kid, I remember my grandparents who immigrated here from Poland, they would always come over around Christmas time and they would spend a day or two making thousands of pierogis that we had just put in the freezer. And one of my favorites was always the sauerkraut pierogi. And it was a combination of sauerkraut, ground beef, a little bit of potato in there, and then of course your casing. And so this recipe sort of mimics that a little bit to sort of that childhood flavor that I loved. And so with this recipe, we have our 80-20 ground beef, some sausage, potato buns, and some sauerkraut. Again, this is because my favorite was always the sauerkraut pierogi. And so to get started with this recipe, I'm gonna first of all take my ground beef, and this is 1 pound, so I'm just gonna cut it right in half, and then I'm gonna ball these up. And these are gonna be some massive burgers today. I'm talking half-pound burgers. This is gonna be great. With this, I'm gonna just flatten it down. And these are going to shrink a little bit, so I want to make sure that I form them to just a bit bigger than the bun that we're going to be using today. Let's just get that like that. Just going to flip it over. And with burgers like this, you can keep it fairly simple with just that ground beef and then our seasoning. So let's get this second one pressed down. And when you're making these at home, use as much or as little as you want. I'm choosing the half pound, but if you want to go a quarter pound or 2 quarter-pound burgers to make a half pound, that's up to you. And so with those burgers pressed, I'm going to be using my Mad Cow beef rub today. And this stuff goes incredibly well on burgers. And so I'm just going to place a generous amount of this on there. Make sure I get the sides. Go ahead and use your favorite barbecue rub when seasoning your burgers. Go. All right, there we go. That looks pretty good. And so because these burgers are so massive, I can use a digital thermometer to monitor the internal temperature as it's cooking. So I'm gonna be using the Meter Plus today, and I'm gonna place that right into the middle, just like that. And one of the advantages of making massive burgers like this is that you can use that digital thermometer so you don't overcook your burgers. And so today I want to cook these to about 140 degrees before I put them over the direct coals for that final sear. So with everything all prepared for the burger portion, let me show you how I'm going to get the Sloan Sear kettle set up for cooking today. To set up the grill today for cooking, I filled up the slow and sear about halfway full using some lump charcoal. I then got those coals about halfway lit before closing the lid and letting those temperatures come up to around 250 to 275 degrees. All right, so with the kettle all set up for cooking, I'm gonna get these burgers into the grill. We're gonna be cooking them indirect today because I wanna bring them up to temperature slowly before putting them over the coals for that final sear. And so let's get them onto the grill opposite the slow and sear. There we go, there's the one, there's the two. There we go, we'll get that lid closed quickly. And you know, if you want to add in a little bit of hardwood for some smoky flavor, go for it. With these ones, I just want that natural flavor from the grill and that lump charcoal. And so, like I said, we're gonna be cooking these to about 140 degrees. And so we'll come back when it reaches close to that point. All right, I just got the alarm saying that these burgers have reached 140 degrees. Let me show you what they look like. Look at that. They look incredible already. They're not quite done, but we're still gonna sear them off. But before we do that, we're just gonna mix up these coals a little bit because we want these coals to be roaring hot for the next step. All right, I'm gonna let those coals get roaring hot, and in the meantime, I'm gonna slice up some of this sausage and use whatever sausage you want. I like to use farmer sausage because whenever I'm making pierogies at home, I like to use some farmer sausage just to add to some of the protein. And so I'm gonna slice this fairly thin. That should be pretty good. And then I'm just gonna get this skillet into the kettle and right over those coals. And I'm gonna throw all of this sausage onto there. And if it's not hot, don't worry about it because we're just gonna warm up the sausage a little bit. All right, those are warmed up. And so I'm gonna grab my sauerkraut now. I'm just gonna add this to this same skillet. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna remove that from the grill, just place that right there. And now we wanna sear off these burgers. You know, they've already reached 140 degrees and we just wanna finish them off, give them a nice crust as well as bring them up to temperature a little bit more than that. They don't have to get up to 165 necessarily, but I want a nice sear on the outside of these burgers. So I'm just gonna move these over to the edge a bit more. Then I'm gonna spin it around directly over those hot coals, and then I'm gonna let them sear for about 45 seconds on each side twice. All right, well, this will be the last flip here. And then I'm gonna quickly add on some white cheddar to the outside of these burgers. There we go, and only a few more seconds on this. There we go. Then before I toast my buns, I wanna just clean off that grill grate. And then, like I said, today we're using some potato buns. And so if you've never used potato buns, this is the absolute best bun for this recipe because, you know, it really just goes along with that pierogi sort of feel. So I'm gonna get these over those coals and they're only gonna take about, 10 seconds or so. So you wanna stay on top of them. There we go, just rotate them. You can already smell that they're getting a little bit charred. And so that's all we need. Now for the exciting part, the building of the burger. And I can't wait for this because I've been dreaming of this burger for a long time. And so to get started, I'm gonna place on a little bit of garlic mayo to the bottom bun. And then of course, I'm gonna grab one of my burgers. There we go, just take a look at that. And you can see that the burger has shrunk down a little bit and it's the perfect size for this burger. And so that's exactly what I was shooting for. And then on top of that, we're gonna put on some of that sausage. And then to that, I'm gonna put on a generous amount of this sauerkraut. Oh, this looks so good. And then lastly, on the top bun, I'm gonna grab this coarse Dijon mustard. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on top of this bun. And they're gonna crown that, and just take a look at that, guys. It looks absolutely delicious. This is the pierogi burger, and I can't wait to go for the taste test. All right, I can't wait any longer. This is the taste test that I've been waiting to do for the past few months, and it looks phenomenal. This looks like the perfect burger to me, and so let's go for a taste. Holy crap. That's incredible. Guys, this burger is just incredible. It's so good. You get that juicy ground beef burger with that sausage and sauerkraut coming together so well with that potato bun. You know, this is like a pierogi on a burger. No joke. You have everything that you need on it. It's delicious. And you know, for me, with that Polish heritage and that love for barbecue, this might just be one of the best burgers I've had in a while. You pair it with some polskie ogórki. I love those things. And this burger is outstanding. This is one of those burgers that I hope you try out. It's so good. I'm gonna finish this one as well as even tackle the other one. So that's how you make that incredibly delicious pierogi burger on the grill. You're gonna love it for sure. Until next time, keep that fire lit and get cooking.